right, great. Thank you, Armando and Ricardo. Brian Hampton here with Oak Street Capital. We're going to present to you the White Rocks development here in Austin, Texas, which is a five-star boutique hotel and a about 600 unit condominium development on the adjacent property. It's two separate projects by one developer, and Paul Harday, who I'm introducing you to now, is responsible for all the development of that. Paul, if you want to do a quick intro.
Yeah, my name is Paul Harday. I'm the founder of Metropolitan Development, a vertically integrated development company based in Austin, Texas. We specialize in urban infill development on our own. So we are the owners and developers, but we also provide third-party services to investors and property owners. And this project is an example of that, where we are retained by the very experienced property owner who's also a developer, but he has a small team to manage the project for him. So our role is to be a fee developer. We brought in the design team, engineering team, got the entitlements, and help the owner manage the project day to day.
Awesome. So to give you a little bit of background on this, I've been working with the principal developer on this, a gentleman named Chris Milam. He's developed the Bee Cave Galleria and many other projects. He's got over 40 years of experience, and he bought this property back in 2019 from the widow of a gentleman named Jay Bell. And Jay Bell was the original partner to Michael Dell of Dell Computer. So this was their family compound, and they had started to build it into like a private gated subdivision. They were building a very large family home on the property, and Jay fell ill and died very quickly of cancer. And then Rhonda turned around and did not want to complete the project and knew Chris back from their college days, and she ended up selling it to him at a very, very attractive price. So it's 71 acres. It's just west of downtown Austin, about 10 minutes outside, in a very affluent area surrounded by Bee Cave, Texas, Westlake, Texas, Barton Creek, Texas, and Dripping Springs. The homes surrounding this site are in the millions. So a low-cost home in the area is probably $1 or $2 million, and there's homes as high as 15 million just to the neighborhood to the north, where there's like retired football players and tech industry executives live there. It's called Spanish Oaks, and there's golf courses all surrounding this. It's a very, very attractive area. It's one of the highest points in Travis County, which is the county that Austin, Texas is in. It backs up onto a conservation preserve, which will never be built on for 200 years. It's going to look exactly the same behind this property to the west. Chris went through a number of gyrations and had all different plans for this over the last 4 or 5 years as he was putting it together. Paul came in and really helped him analyze and nail this down to a condo project of about 599, 600 units. And then this boutique hotel with a really cool outdoor venue for weddings, business events, smaller concerts to the back of this. And we'll show you some pictures of that here shortly. We are currently, we've brought in quite a bit of early stage equity, about 15 million, and we're looking for up to another 15 million in like $500,000 chunks. This would be a 8% accruing preferred return type investment. You're buying Class A shares in the entity. It's projected to return somewhere in the mid to upper 20s, so like 25 to 28% within 36 to 48 months. And there's the possibility, and Chris allowed me to say this, that he could get the investor capital back on the first or second draw of the construction loans. It's not guaranteed, but he's going to try to do that because this is a pretty large project. I think it's north of $700 million to build this whole project out with the hotel and the condo. So it's a relatively small amount of money to be returned to the investors, and he's going to try to do that. Otherwise, they put their money in and they get a very nice return. So I'll just show you some of the. It's showing the hotel, right, Paul?
Right. Yeah, we can see the hotel.
It says screen sharing, and it's on my other screen.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So this is a rendering of the hotel from the west side of the property. It actually sits up essentially on a mountain, And then this round dome in the front is actually a entertainment venue for concerts or weddings could be in this. And then there's kind of outdoor seating right on the other side of it. I think we have a fly through, or do I just click on this? Let me see. Yeah, actually, nope, not that one. I'll have the fly through video here. This is basically the program of the project here. So the hotel, square footage, number of units. An interesting thing they decided to do here was to put some condominiums on top of the hotel as the premier like penthouse residences. And we've already have NFL football players who are investors in this project and other very high net worth people in the US that have already invested in the project. They have interest in buying those units as well as other folks who are very interested in them. Down here noting the residential units, 540, over 1,000 parking spots, which are all going to be underground. A lot of this stuff will be like the parking and infrastructure will be underground built. Because it's got a lot of elevation.
Brian, I'm sorry to interrupt. Maybe I can share the site plan really quickly. Oh yeah, you have.
Yeah,
it.
here's I'm taking Chris's latest update. So this is a render
Okay,
of
great.
the condominium buildings, which are gorgeous. Very modern, super cool design. Paul was very involved with this. And we have a tremendous amount of information. Here's the aerial of the two. So this is the condominium projects. There's 6 buildings.
Yeah, this one here, I'll annotate.
Facility.
Brian, if you let me just 1 second.
Yeah,
sorry.
go ahead.
Yeah, so this is the six individual buildings of condominiums. It's over 500 units, about 530 units. So they sit on a very large garage podium that's shared with amenities and swimming pools in between. So those are going to be built and sold in phases, but all continuously in one. And this is on the low part of the project. And as Brian mentioned, this hill is the highest hill in Travis County, with incredible views of downtown Austin this way. And like Brian mentioned, we have a forest preserve with bird preserve that's, I think, over 1,600 acres, right? It's huge.
Again,
The
yeah.
west with unlimited views and hills and west sunset. So the hotel sits on top of the hill, and it's got restaurants and a 30,000 square foot wellness center. And like Brian mentioned, 3 layers of condominiums on top, about 55 units, and the outside entertainment space.
Perfect.
Yeah,
So good.
go
And
ahead,
you can
Brian.
actually, like halfway up this mountain, you could see downtown. So like
Yes.
just halfway up, you can see downtown. So the hotel and the units can absolutely see downtown at the top.
Right.
Okay, so that's the end of that. We've got all kinds of detailed, I can pull this open. Let me see here. Let's see. I have to download that 1 second here, sorry.
Mhm.
So there's some good, and we can forward all this. You can share this with any of the investors. Feel free. We'll send this all along. And let's see here. This is the
So that project is fully entitled. That's important. All the zoning and approvals are in place. And in that memo, you have a detailed history and description of the project and the status. We are in design and engineering phase. We plan to file for building permits in a few months, and we already filed for all the water and sewer and civil approvals. And we already obtained a lot of those approvals, actually. So the
absolutely,
project
yeah.
has no entitlement risk, no
At all,
zero.
yeah. The
at all.
property was taken out of the ETJ, which is a development.
Extraterrestrial jurisdiction between Austin
Yeah,
and Travis
it was
County.
removed in January, so there's even less restrictions on the property and much less
Yeah.
risk of any zoning
Right.
issues. Well, pretty much none. One other thing I do want to mention before we move on this one, and we can share all this data with you, so you can share it with your investors. Is Chris, this investment is that they make is coming in at his same basis. He didn't lift anything up here for an adjusted return. So you're actually coming into the project at the 2019 basis, which is phenomenal. It's really hard to find an investment like that. The other thing that is happening as we speak is EXP Luxury Real Estate is starting the reservations for the condo units, I think, in this next week. And if people will have the ability, and we would offer this to all of you and your investors, if you want to reserve a unit, it's $2,500 on the more standard units, and then the mid-tiers, I think, are $5,000, and the penthouses, I think, are $10,000. It's a refundable deposit that goes into Heritage Title, and they hold that there until the next, sequence of the purchase process happens later in the year. So that's all.
Correct. So-
We have a whole marketing and digital media plan, and we're putting the reservations out for the units in the next week or so. Pretty
Yeah,
cool.
that's very important because we will de-risk the deal before we close on the construction loan, because we'll get a lot of reservations, hundreds and hundreds probably of reservations on this project before we finalize the financing.
So, yes, so quick summary here, White Rocks, hotel and condo development. It's in Austin, Texas, about 10-15 minutes just to the straight west of downtown. You're coming in at the 2019 basis of the principal developer. We're looking for anywhere from $2 to $15 million total right now in 500K increments. We actually already have one of the investors who's pledged to put in 15 million additional dollars. As soon as the reservations, we're at 100 or so reservations, they're going to kick that in. But anybody who comes before that point can put money into the project. So again, the returns on this were 8% accruing preferred return, with a projected IRR somewhere in the mid to upper 20s. We're pretty confident in saying, 25 to 28%. So that's the White Rocks project. Happy to answer any other questions. We'll forward you all the latest updates and overviews as well. Thank you.